Why I have these specific game experience preferences? The short answer is that I have spent much time trying to identify what is my favorite game experience, and the short-ish answer is this is a collection of like sub experiences that help me to enjoy a game. And I will now go into much more detail about what they are. So to start, I like my games to have at least some kind of a urgency, because I've noticed that without urgency, um, I get bored very easily. Um, I like when that there is a need to try and use my time more efficiently. Um, but having said that, I also prefer the urgency to not be too tight and too stressful, because I would not like that either. The second small or sub experience that I value is a game that has a simple enough win or like end goal, because um, and my best guess is because simple goals are easier to remember and easier to remind myself with as I play the game. The next miniature experience that I also value is the end goal is clearly communicated at the beginning of the game. And for those not aware, the game Final Fantasy X does this really well, because in the opening cutscene, or the opening storytelling of the game, they show you the final boss, or the final monster that you end up fighting, and that your entire game's efforts is working towards defeating. So I believe I value more the clear communication, but for a story driven game, I believe that there is also more value to having that communicated at the very beginning. But at the very least, and I believe most people would value this, is understanding very early on, and in a very simple to understand way, like what is the end goal of the game? Like what am I working towards? So I can decide, would I enjoy this kind of game, and would I be willing to put in the would I be willing to spend the time and the effort to reach the end goal of this game? Another experience I value is also the um, a very easy to digest and navigate type user interface. And in most games I have played, or in many games, I find the user interface of the game very overwhelming, or very difficult to understand, because the way those user interfaces have been presented is often buttons and information all over my computer screen. And so I prefer a user interface where my options are very clear and very uh, like all out on the table. like the like your hand in a card game, where if I have like a few cards, um, then that clearly shows all my options, and I'm not having to navigate into like hidden menus within menus within menus. I believe that that kind of user interface design is not very accessible. Um, one other value to help me experience or feel less overwhelmed with my games is where the game environments all fits on one screen. And while many games have that thing where the game world is so big that your computer screen can't capture the entire space. So they add the feature to let you move the camera, or to like, I think the technical term is a screen scrolling. But that adds extra complexity to my user interface experience, especially for someone with my own executive functioning challenges, and I really don't want to spend my minimal brain capacity trying to not only play the game, but to also stay updated with the user interface and any important information for me, and also trying to move my screen around to align with what I'm trying to focus on. That adds to me feeling overwhelmed. So I like when there are absolutely no camera controls, no moving screens, and that includes first person shooters. And one reason why I don't like games with a first person perspective is partly for this reason, because I don't like that my screen can easily change how it looks, or change what I might need to look out for on a moment to moment basis. And that is lots of visual overload for me. The next small game design that I also value is a game that does a very good job of communicating my progress towards the game's end goal. So even having a small counter, like, you know, I've reached level 1, or I'm now at level 5, and there's like 6 more levels to go. My guess for why I like having this transparent information is to help me have a clearer understanding of the flow of this game, and helps me to predict and plan what might happen in the future. So I like this sort of design. The next thing that I like is having very minimal text reading in the game, and a very minimal need to intensely focus my eyes on the computer game screen, because I have played games where they require you to like shift your eyes back and forth to between very wide parts of the computer screen, and that can make me feel overwhelmed, because each time I move my eyes, I have to reset my short-term memory, kind of, to remind myself what is the information I'm looking for, where is that information, and then trying to rapidly switch my eye focus. It's like it's like finding a needle in a haystack, and trying to find a needle in a haystack is not how I prefer to enjoy my game experiences. Um, so yes, less text reading means less likelihood for me to have eye strain. And when I feel excited about playing the game, I also have the tendency to play harder and play faster. So when that happens, if the game requires minimal text reading and minimal eye focus on very specific parts of the screen, then that helps me to ease the burden of information processing on my eyes and my brain. So that is one value I have. Um, the next thing is, um, I like a game that is designed to be very well paced. So what this means is, I don't want to feel too overwhelmed by making too many decisions too quickly, because that triggers this phenomenon called the decision paralysis, where I am so overwhelmed that I don't know what to decide, and my natural instinct in those experiences is to either play the game in a more dumb way and just try to power forward quickly, or I would end up I would end up choosing my routine and like unfamiliar choices that I have done before, and some games might benefit, or some people's experiences could be improved if they were encouraged to choose more variety in their own decisions. So so yeah, I like good pacing, and pacing helps me to relax as well, which is always a valued experience with my games, and especially with games that want to have like really tense moments. Then having moments where there is intentional downtime, or my decision making and my actions are spaced out far enough that I can relax. I can relax as I play. That would be game design very suited to people like me. To move on to the next point. Um, and this is slightly related to what I just explained, but I also value a streamlined gameplay, and the reason why I say this is because I like a smooth experience where I have this sense that I am always making forward progress on a moment to moment basis, and it just gives me a sense of continuous accomplishment, or continuous achievements, or continuous growth. And I like the streamlined experience, and that also could be a sign of good game design, because I don't want to get stuck at any given point in time, because most games seem to be about always moving around, or I'm always moving forward. Um, and in my case, I experience great streamlined gameplay with games like the great the great Ace Attorney Chronicles, and yes, that game is a visual novel, and by nature, those visual novel games is mostly about this streamlined flow of a getting new text or getting a new piece of story. And for games that don't have a strict visual novel format, I believe there are ways to design those games in ways that that can provide a more streamlined experience, and this helps to reduce burden on my own brain and my short term memory as well. Because if the game is streamlined enough, where I can just iterate and make all these little baby steps towards short-term goals or long-term goals, then I don't want to have an experience like I'm solving extremely difficult math problems all the time. Like that is not really a fun way to use my computer gaming time. I like to have enough of a flow. So that is what I wanted to say about the streamlines. And well, one final thing is that the streamlines experience can also help me to feel less overwhelmed, because if I am flowing in one general direction, then that should mean less directions for me to consider information and things. So I like and streamlined experience also suggests a structured experience as well, which I also welcome to help me feel more engaged with my games. The next thing is that to help add replayability to my games, because when I enjoy playing a computer game, I want to play that game again and again until I don't want to play that game anymore. But well-designed games, I believe, can achieve this infinite replayability. And one way to achieve that replayability is randomness. So if not all outcomes in a game can be perfectly predicted, that helps to add replay value, because as I'm thinking and progressing through the game, I am more like executing my own strategies and maybe course correcting if our plans don't go well. That kind of dynamic experience can be very enjoyable. So not just for replayability, but also in the moment, can help to make the game much more dynamic. And also a randomness it can be a useful game design technique to make a game feel less overwhelming for me, because what randomness does is it makes sure that you cannot start a game with a completely perfect and a completely calculated plan that will never fail. So that means that you will have to improvise on the spot based on what random outcomes that you get. So there's a slightly reactive component to the game experience, and I like that better. And one kind of example to help explain this is like um, I I I lost interest in the game chess for this very reason. So chess has an absolute no randomness, but to even get to a level where we can compete with the top players and to get to a stage where we are experimenting with creative strategies and things. Chess requires that we memorize so many like like opening moves because that game has no randomness. People have already calculated and developed the most optimal play styles and strategies at the beginning of the game. So so that kind of takes away the fun for me because I like to improvise a bit. I like to react slightly more to my game environment and not have to overburden my brain with too much preparation before I even start playing and before I start to enjoy that game. Um, so that is one value of adding randomness to the game design. The next small game experience or small piece of game design, which is kind of the opposite, is I like some repetition in my games, and this helps to serve an experience that is less overwhelming for me, especially when I am introduced to a game for the first time, because games all have a high risk of being overwhelming to the player because they often present way too much information and not enough explanations about what should be understood and what is important at any given time, because people new to those games won't really have any context or like understanding of that game yet. So if there is repetition, like in a card game or any game where people take turns, then at least there is a structure that people can predict and try to understand and gain an easier familiarity with that game. And this is one flaw about randomness, is that if the game is designed to be too random, then players or people will have extreme difficulty trying to develop and execute on plans, because without a clear way to predict any specific outcome in a game, then we might as well be flailing around. So repetition does help to add structure to the game, and gives us ways to iteratively learn and build on our own experiences. So that is one value I see with adding repetition. So some of these suggestions do sound like opposites or paradoxes, but that is exactly why I believe game design can be challenging, and that is partly why human psychology can be very complex, because we are wanting so many different things at the same time. Um, so so the next thing I want to talk about, which I kind of mentioned already, is I value iterative gameplay, because this also contributes to making the game experience less overwhelming. Because if I start off with a foundation or understanding of how a game works, and if I want to make progress or to move forward, I like being able to move forward with very simple like baby steps. And as I am taking those baby steps, I like the feedback loop of getting instant feedback about what was the clear impact of my decisions or actions, and what kind of long term impacts can that lead to, and and I only have to worry about a small amount of information at any given moment. That and I like iteration even outside of games. So this is a way that my brain naturally prefers to work through things. Um, and the next thing, and um, what another ideal a game experience for me is that feeling of satisfaction when you overcome a challenge, or you have successfully solved a problem. And one flaw I have noticed with some games is that if the game is about growing your own power, then some games are designed so tightly that the computer enemies, they scale up in a difficulty at a perfect rate that as you grow in power through the game. And the problem with that is that completely removes the satisfaction, or the sense that you did improve. So if the game's difficulty is increasing so fast, or increasing at the same rate that we as the gamer have improved, then that takes away all feedback and communication that we even improved or grew at all. So there needs to be intentionally designed moments in the game where that can detect that a player has improved in some way, and then somehow stop or slow down the growth of the enemies, so that we can at least temporarily um 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 dominates our opponents, just to prove that that recent decision, or that upgrade, or that thing that we obtained actually helped us. And then later you can increase the game difficulty, or maybe one other way to design around this problem is to give players more choice about what is the level of a difficulty that they face at any given moment in the game, in ways that are very easy to use. The next the next thing I want to describe is that I value from my ideal game experiences is infinite replayability, or a challenging path to the end goal. So so I may have already explained this, but the long story short is I like good replay value, because if I enjoy a game, I want to keep playing the game over and over, as much as I enjoy the game. And for games that are like structured as a primary story experience, I stop playing the game as soon as I reach the end of that story. But if there are reasons if there are ways for me to experience that core experience, or that core enjoyment, no matter how many times I return to the game, that would be really awesome. So that could take the form of um, so like maybe the game is so challenging that often the experience or whether I reach the end goal of the game can be very unpredictable. In which case, each playthrough can be very exciting because I would be challenging the thought of can I reach the end of the game this time or next time or the time after that. Um, but not all games have to be brutally challenging like that. Um, One other possible way could be that the game's mechanics or the core experience could be so satisfying, and if there is enough things like a randomness, so I can't perfectly predict what will happen, or I can't just perfectly plow through the game's challenges, then um, that is another way to create the infinite replayability experience. Um, and one other thing that I also value, which does sounds conflicting with some of the things I have already described, is I like when my games have moments of very easy to play game, like minimal difficulty during some moments of my game, because I don't want to have an experience like I'm always bashing my head against a brick wall at non-stop difficulties. Um I like being able to complete simple tasks very easily, because this helps to build my confidence to take on the bigger challenges of the game, and this could help to provide a better paced experience as well. Because I do enjoy various parts of my game experience, including making interesting decisions, or a long term strategic planning, um, or things like that. But if I have to do too much of playing, that this becomes exhausting, or I'm frustrating, then this will no longer be enjoyable for me. So I like having paced out moments of minimal or no game difficulty, to remind myself that I am still human, and that things don't have to be difficult all the time, um, and that the game doesn't have to be about non-stop intense and exhausting emotions. I like to sometimes I just like to dominate some really simple task, like what if my game had this regular quest, like do some do some grocery shopping each day or two, like like that sounds kind of funny to me, but I believe that would add much more enjoyment for me to an otherwise really stressful or overly tense game experience. Um, and the final thing that I want to talk about for now, is that I like my games to have constraints, and this is more true in this is much easier to notice in turn-based games like card games or strategy games, where I have a limited number of actions and things each turn, and I like having to work with these specific and very explicit game rules, because constraints typically make me a more creative person, and I like to problem solve and to optimize and to find ways to just increase the efficiency of my tools or my game experience slightly more. So that is one thing I like, and constraints can also make a game more accessible to learn and play, because if there were no rules, and if this was just a completely free form sandbox, or if this was like anything could be done infinitely, then I would probably feel too overwhelmed with too many options. But constraints and game rules help to add focus and to help give me a more manageable and more interesting game experience, where I'm trying to work with or I'm around those game rules. So yes, I like constraints for that very reason. There's probably much more or at least some more things that I value about my game experience, and but this is all that I have, I have written down in like list or a dot point form. And I don't want to make this video get too massive either, but this gives some insight into why I have struggled for a very long time to find a game that fits what I need, because when they fail any of those game design points that I have described in this video, they really stand out to me, and I'm very sensitive to having these failed ideal experiences, which can cause me lots of frustration or stress or making me feel overwhelmed. So if there is any single game that can perfectly or that is designed perfectly to include all of these points that I mentioned, then I would probably be super happy to spend time playing that game a lot. But this also gives insight into how challenging the job is for game designers, because they if they want to entertain their audiences in a very positive way, they have to consider all of the complex neurodiversity of people, and not all people would have the same preferences as me, or not the same preferences as each other. So yeah, so these are my specific game experiences. A long story short, I thought this was interesting to talk about, and this helps me to be one step closer to finding my ideal game. And game designers often or always have a challenging time to try and design their specific games to provide specific experiences for very specific people. But yes, I don't want this video to get too massive in case people might get bored. But I kind of had fun I'm talking about this. Thanks for watching.